everyone. My name is Adriana Luna, and I'm here with She Rises. Today we have with us Marshay McDowell. She is a local Nevadan residing in Las Vegas. How are you doing today, Marshay?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
That's wonderful. So our mission here with She Rises is to inspire, empower, and educate all women who are facing or who have faced tragedy. Women who may be faced with terminal or chronic health issues. We strive to provide leadership, hope, faith, and build a community of strong and independent women leaders as they rise up and overcome their fears and adversity. Marshay, you have a very strong story that you came here to share with us today. Can you start off with telling us a little bit about your past and kind of work your way up to the present?
I am the third oldest of 7 children. My biological mother, she struggled with substance abuse. And as a result, my siblings and I, ended up in foster care. However, we were very blessed to have been adopted. Of the 7 of us, my parents were able to adopt 4 of us. So we were raised together, and, they took a lot of efforts to keep us in contact with our siblings and things such as that. I tell some people that we were a family that really wanted for nothing. I think that's what's somewhat unique. I think sometimes people have a preconceived notion on what type of people have hardships in their life. You truly can't tell a book by its cover. And so I went to college. I did very well in school. And, I had a very supportive family, 2 parents, strong Christian faith parents. And I went to college, linked up really with the wrong person. I didn't see it at the time, but that decision to join into that relationship, while it started off well, and I thought this was a dream guy, later he went through some struggles of his own that led him down a different path. And instead of staying true to my values, that led us into a direction of homelessness, domestic violence, prostitution. I had been arrested 3 separate occasions, just got to a very dark place, very depressed, dealing with PTSD and suicidal ideologies. It took a very sharp turn in the wrong direction, probably around 2012. Those were the darkest years of my life.
2012, it seems like it's not that long ago sometimes, but then you realize how much you've gone through, and it feels like ages ago when you look at it in that way because of the person you are today. And it's beautiful to know that you were able to get out of that situation, trust yourself and value who you were. What was one of the most profound moments in your life, that changed your direction, your journey?
You had mentioned, having the strength to get out of that situation, that game changer for me. Like I said, I was extremely depressed. I had no idea what to do. I had gotten a prostitution charge and was, like I said, had been arrested on 3 different occasions. I'm originally from California. I didn't mention that earlier, but I came to Las Vegas as an opportunity to start my life over. But when I came to Las Vegas, my background was still hindering me. Again, I hadn't separated myself from that individual at that time. And so I had no idea what to do. And someone told me to go to Hope for Prisoners because they said, Hope for Prisoners helps felons. They almost made it seem like it was a temp agency, but it was not. It was so much more than that. I spoke with John. I was selected to be in the class in 2015, March of 2015. And in that workshop, he talked to me about creating a vision for myself, where I saw myself a year from that date. And I was so lost. I felt it was impossible. How do you expect me to tell you where I see myself a year from now? I didn't know where I was going to be by the end of the day. I didn't know if I was going to be back out on the streets. I didn't know where my next meal was going to come from. And this man challenged me to envision my life, without the obstacles. What would make me happy a year from that date? I wrote a vivid vision, he calls it. In that vivid vision, I had to write out people that my happiness at the time was wrapped around my attachment to other people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so I had to write some people out of that vivid vision. I really had to dig deep and say, you know, what would make me most happy? And a big part of that was wanting some sense of balance in my life, wanting some sense of stability, you know, wanting to have a higher esteem about myself. You know, I didn't know how to fix myself, but really looking back, that was the absolute game changer in my life.
That's wonderful. And see, you know, the fact that you were able to recognize that you needed to take care of yourself first, and a lot of people think that if they're only worrying about themselves at first, you know, like, oh, I'm being selfish, and that's why we want to give, but it's not being selfish. It's, you know, setting boundaries, seeing your worth. It's really hard, and it's beautiful that you were able to do that. I really wanted to know a little bit more about, you know, Hope for Prisoners, your role there, how you found it.
I've come full circle with Hope for Prisoners. As I mentioned earlier, I graduated their week-long workshop March 13, 2015. I stayed very close to that program. I participated in everything that they had to offer, from book club to counseling to workshops where we talked about creating healthy boundaries. I separated myself from people that did not mean me well. And then I participated in things like the huddles. That's where I got a lot of my support system. People like DP, people like Lori, strong women in the room, healthy relationships and boundaries with men in the room. That was extremely important. What Hope for Prisoners does is they are a reintegration program for those who have been impacted by incarceration. And so in being part of that, the wonderful thing is that when you complete the 18-month program, the idea is that you come back and show somebody else how you did it. And so I stayed and I shared my testimony with other people. And then in August of 2019, I had an opportunity to join the team as a case manager. So now I'm working on the other end of it, where I have, you know, clients that I take on to help navigate them through the program as someone did for me in 2015. So I am extremely blessed to be working with that organization, and my heart, it's very personal for me, you know, to help somebody through that darkness.
You're helping someone else, but you're giving yourself that gift. You know, I wanted to know, you mentioned to me earlier, you started a new marriage. I just kind of wanted to hear how that's going and learn a little bit more about how you are right now.
It's going wonderfully. I met the love of my life in the end of 2015. We got married in November 19, 2019. My husband's name is Nicholas. That was a big thing for me because I was not sure, in going through some of the things that I went through, how my capacity to love would be affected. And to be put in a position where I was able to love, give love, and receive love has been such a blessing. I think of one thing to describe my husband, aside from just being my best friend. I tell people he is the everything I've always wanted and everything that I never knew I needed. God really went above and beyond, I feel, in finding the perfect partner for me. But I'm thankful for the healing that I was able to go through. And, you know, the healing I still go through today. It's a constant journey, to be honest. But I'm so thankful for my partner. He's so supportive of what I do at Hope for Prisoners, my involvement. He's so supportive of where I came from and where I'm at now. I'm so blessed to have him.
It's so beautiful to hear you say more than just, you know, he's your husband, he's your partner, he's your best friend, he's your confidant. You know, all of those things make a relationship, and the fact that you're able to realize that and he's there for you and you're there for them, it's really great. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, you know, what you've achieved so much already. You've been through so much already. What is your next goal? You know, do you have another dream to fulfill? Where can we see Marshay going?
Yes. Right now, the biggest thing that I've been a little quiet about it, but I'll share it with you. The biggest thing, my husband and I, after we got married in December, we started the process to purchase our first home. And so we're becoming first-time home buyers. We're super excited about that. We found a new build. I'll share real quick, years ago when we met and we were dating and we were talking about things we desired out of life, I told my husband, I said, I feel like God's going to bless me with a 4-bedroom home, brand new. I want to be the first one to sit on the toilet seats, and we're real goofy. So we used to joke around like that. And going from being homeless to working my way back up, at the time, it might have seemed impossible. Some people I shared that with might have thought we were crazy, but that was a big desire of my heart. Neither of us have children, but we hope to fill those rooms with children one day. And I was just believing on God that was something that would happen. In December, we started the process, and we should be closing on our home this September. So August is rolling around real quick, and we look forward to closing in September. We're super excited about that.
That's amazing. I mean, especially with everything that's going on with COVID. I mean, how did you get to go around? And did you get to have a normal house buying experience, or was it a little bit different?
In the beginning, we did, because we started like right around in December. Now, as they're building, has been the hugest impact with COVID. And so, the signing process and everything like that, it's a lot of video meetings and things like that. But, we go by from time to time. We've been taking little snapshots of our new home, and we hope to put a little collage from when they laid the first foundation. So
yeah,
it hasn't been too crazy. When we do the walkthrough, I think that's when we'll see that.
What advice or message would you want to share with other women, who've gone through similar, different situation as you? What do you have to share with them?
I do have a few points that I'd like to share, and then just kind of an overall analogy I'd like to share. The first one is the importance of surrendering to God. That was something that was super important. I had to get out of my own way. I had to allow God to bring me through and trust the process and bring me through the things I was going through. And sometimes that means going through some ugly and disgusting things, but we've got to trust the process through the good and the bad. The second thing was to love yourself. I had to learn to love myself. And before I could get to that place, I had to trust God to love me and to give me the confidence to love myself the way I deserve. That will help with moral compass, learning when to pull away from things that aren't good for you. The third thing I would say is that it's okay to not be okay. We're in a society now where Instagram and Facebook and social media makes everyone's life look perfect. Or one day I can say, hey, I have this beautiful home that we had an opportunity to build, but a lot of people may not know about the struggles and what it took and the pain and the tears and the blood that it took to get to that place. It's okay to not be okay. Speak out, reach out to someone and let them know that you feel like you're drowning. The fourth thing would be to protect your peace by all means necessary. You don't have to do that in a hateful way or a hurtful way. Ask God to reveal people who don't have good intentions for you to you, and to remove those people from your life. But if you see that someone doesn't have good for you, or your values don't align, it's okay to love some people from a distance. And the last one would be to not be ashamed of the things that you've gone through. I talked about prostitution. I talked about homelessness. I need other women to know that, we can put on makeup and a beautiful dress, but we never know someone's story or the journey that they've gone through. I want to share this with you proudly because I'm not ashamed of that. It's a small chapter in my life, but I promise you, it was honestly the biggest blessing. All things truly do happen for the greater good. They truly do. At one point, I felt extremely broken, shattered in my life, and I kind of thought of myself almost like a broken vase, and it has a crack and you add a little glue and maybe you put a little tape in, but I had gotten to a point where I was so broken I couldn't hold anything. my emotions. I couldn't do anything. I was completely destroyed. And then I started going through these trials and tribulations, and I equate that to God kind of putting me in the fire a little bit, put a little heat under me. But it forced me to lean on him. But when I came out, I had been melted down so he could mold me into a completely different vase, a completely different piece of art. And you can't see every little scratch or every crack, but it's all a part of who I am today. I hope that women are able to hold on to that. I don't regret what I've gone through because it really led to my biggest blessings in life. I thank you for allowing me to share, a little bit of my testimony.
Thank you so much for everything. You're an amazing person, very inspirational. You have an incredible story. I want to sincerely thank you for sharing with us today. It takes a lot of courage and strength to overcome all that you have. And I want to tell you, I believe that you're a wonderful and beautiful person inside and out. It shows that, you're a strong, independent person. Thank you so much for joining us here today on She Rises. And I just want to have a wonderful rest of your day. Congratulations on your marriage, and I wish you all the best.
You too. You have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.